everyone, this is Focus Spender, and unless you've been living under a rock, you are fully aware of what has been going on with Target and their data breach. So basically what has happened is that some hackers, I think in Russia, a 17-year-old boy in Russia hacked into Target's mainframe or whatever and has stolen the PIN numbers and credit card information from anywhere between 40 to 110 million shoppers in the United States. And what has also come out is that someone has also stolen data from Neiman Marcus, which has affected 1.1 million customers, and now also with Michael's stores. So I think that's a craft store. So if you've been shopping at Michael's, you might have been compromised as well. So one of the main things that you should be doing if you have been shopping at one of these stores is to get a new debit card ASAP. It's not enough to change your PIN number. You definitely need to get a new debit card. But also you should be checking your online statements. A few years ago, I was at work and I was just checking my online account with Bank of America, and I noticed that someone had charged $40 on my card. And I couldn't tell what store it was. It looked like an online transaction. It wasn't a lot of money, and I had similar charges on my card, but I thought, something looks funny about this. So I called the number to find out what type of company this was, because I could not remember making this $40 charge. And come to find out, it was for a XXX site. XXX? So I said, no, that's not me. Take this off my card ASAP. And then my bank sent me a new card. So you want to look out for any charges on your card that looks unfamiliar. It could be as little as $1, $2, because what hackers I should say do, they charge like little small amounts to see if the card works, and then if it works, then they'll come in and take all your money. So make sure you're checking your cards religiously. So I was reading an article in the New York Times, I believe, and they said that just checking your credit report at this point will not alert you to the fact that someone has gotten your information from Target, because that just means they're using your card. They may not have necessarily opened a new credit card in your name, but it is a good time if you haven't been checking your credit reports regularly, if you haven't done it in the last year, or worse, you've never done it, to go ahead and check it now. There's a website you can use called www.annualcreditreport.com, and you can check all three of your major credit reports. And the three major credit report agencies are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So the site is completely free for you to use once a year. If you want to get your credit score, then you do have to pay $7.95 per company to get the score. But you can look at your credit report for free once a year. I've done it and everything is fine. So one other thing I wanted to talk to you about is what happens if someone steals your identity, because this has happened to me twice. The first time I was 19 years old and I got a call from the FBI. And I thought, excuse me, the FBI? And they said, yes, can you verify your social security number? And at that point I probably should have been like, no, I'm not verifying anything with you over the phone, but I did. And then the guy told me, okay, well, you need to call all three credit agencies, because someone has used your identity to get an apartment in Los Angeles. Now, I live in New York, but I do have family in California. But I knew that no one had used my information to get an apartment. So I thought, okay, let me check this out. So I called the credit agencies. They sent me my reports, and lo and behold, when I looked at my reports, my birth year, I should say, was off by 1 year. My address in New York was off by a couple of digits, and there was a California address listed on my report. So I had to file a police report. I had to send all my information to the credit agencies to get it off, because I had been away in school and I had proof of where I actually was living, and it was not in Los Angeles, California. So the next time my identity was stolen was a couple years later, when I came back home from college and I wanted to get a New York cell phone number. I had been using Cell One, which only existed in Boston, or I should say it only existed in Massachusetts at the time, and I wanted to get a Sprint phone like everyone else. So I go to Sprint, I found my phone, and I go to sign up, and the guy says, no, you owe us $1,900. I said, no, I don't owe you anything. So then at that point I realized someone had used my information again and charged a bill for $1,900 under my name. So I had to file a dispute with Sprint, and to this day, anytime I was able to partially resolve it, but whenever I do anything with Sprint, they do still see this charge, or they do see some funny activity, and I have to pull out my file again and say, nope, I don't owe you anything. You need to take care of this. So, that being said, you should go ahead and get on annualcreditreport.com. If you don't want to pay any money, that's fine, but just at least look at what is on your report. Make sure your personal information is correct in every one of them. Your name is spelled correctly, your address is listed correctly. They don't have you living in places you've never lived before. They have your date of birth properly. Nothing can be off, because if something is off, that means someone is doing something to your credit. And because of these data breaches, you want to make sure that you are checking your online statements to make sure nothing is off. And if you haven't gotten a new debit card, please do so, because you don't want anything bad to happen to your credit. That is all. Thanks. Bye-bye.